Confidence is something that you create within yourself, and it's also something that you can kill within yourself as well, based on your thinking. So in this video, I'll explain 3 mistakes that men make with their thinking that kill their confidence when it comes to women. The first one is keeping score of what he's done in comparison to her. So I gave her a compliment and she hasn't given me a compliment. So if I then give her another compliment, she's going to have more power than me. Or she didn't reply to one of my texts. So it means that if I text her again, then I'm going to seem needy. Or it means that she has maybe lost interest because I've sent one more text than she has. Or if a man's in a relationship with a woman, she hasn't hugged me this week. So if I hug her first again for the second time this week, it means that she has all the power and I'm being needy. So some guys think they need to prove themselves to a woman in that way, right? I've got to be able to show her that if I give her a compliment and she hasn't given me a compliment back, then I'm not going to give her another compliment because I'm cool or I'm confident, I'm tough, I'm aloof or something. I don't know. I've got to prove something to her. No, if you're a confident man who believes in himself and you want to give a woman a compliment, you can give her 3 or 4 compliments and it doesn't mean that she has more power than you. Likewise, if you're an insecure man who doesn't believe in himself and you give a woman 1 compliment, you can think that that gives her more power than you. That's your thinking. You're creating that insecurity in your head. So as I said, confidence is something that you create in your own mind, and it's also something that you can kill based on insecure thoughts. So if you're thinking that, oh, if I walk over and talk to a woman, I'm giving away all my power, then that's what you think about yourself. Yet if you think, if I walk over and talk to a woman, then I'm a man who is confident enough to go after what he wants in life, then you're able to feel confident about yourself because of that. And a very small percentage of men are able to think that way. So then they're not ashamed to walk over and talk to a woman that they find attractive, or to ask her out, or to ask for a phone number, or to stay in an interaction when they're talking to a woman that they find attractive. But another guy who is insecure may think that if he stays in the interaction a bit too long, she might think that he's needy. Or if there's a pause in a conversation and he says something and then there's another pause and he says something, then it's going to look like he's chasing her. But another man's going to be much more relaxed about it and think, well, pauses happen in conversation. And if I want to continue the conversation with her, I'll continue the conversation with her. And that doesn't mean that I'm needy, that I'm desperate. I'm just continuing the conversation with her. Now, to be clear here, I'm not saying that if a man is talking to a woman and she's not saying anything and she's giving 1-word replies and she's basically telling him to go away, that he should just keep talking to her in a desperate way. It's not about that. Instead, it's about not being worried, not treating dating or interactions with women in a tit-for-tat sort of way where you're keeping score of, well, I did this, so she has to do that. And if she doesn't do that, then it probably means that she doesn't like me that much. So I'm not good enough. And then you start to feel insecure. But if you just let go of trying to keep score, then it allows you to relax and keep the interaction going and talk to the woman in a confident way and move things forward, which is what makes women feel attracted. They want a man who is able to be confident and move things forward, or be confident and shoot his shot, rather than a guy who is worried about who has said what and what has happened. I sent her a text and she replied, and I sent her another text and she didn't reply. So if I send something now, it means I'm a needy guy. That guy's just worrying too much. Just send another text if you feel like sending another text. It doesn't matter. If you're honestly coming from a place where you're not desperate, you're not needy, you're just texting her, you're going to make her feel some attraction and you're going to arrange a meetup. Or if you're talking to her in person, you're continuing the conversation and you're going to move it forward, right? You just focus on what you want to do and don't worry about trying to keep score. Because if you do, women will almost always cause you to feel insecure, which brings me to the second mistake in guys' thinking that causes them to kill their own confidence, and that is needing validation from the woman to feel confident. So, for example, constantly looking for signs that she likes you, or waiting for her to give you a clear signal or respond in a certain way, or to compliment you and to make it really obvious that she likes you. It's important to understand that when it comes to the male-female sexual dynamic, it's not the woman's role to try to make you feel confident enough around her, right? To prop you up and hopefully make you feel like you're worthy of her. Instead, she wants you to be able to feel that by yourself. And if you don't feel that around a woman, she'll naturally start to test you. she'll naturally and instinctively start to not be reassuring of her interest, right? She will test your confidence around her because she needs to be able to see that you're emotionally strong regardless of what she says or does, and that you believe in yourself regardless of what she says or does, because instinctively she knows that men don't look up to and respect other men who are weak emotionally, right? And wimpy emotionally. Other men look up to men who are strong emotionally. And she doesn't want to align herself with a man who is going to be picked on and looked down on by other men, because that's not going to be safe for her. So even though it may feel a bit annoying and frustrating for men who aren't confident, when a woman tests your confidence in an interaction by, for example, not being reassuring of her interest, or saying something a little bit playfully teasing to you, or putting a bit of pressure on you in the moment, that actually provides you with an opportunity to level up as a man, to become stronger, right? It's not intended to hurt you. It's intended to give you an opportunity to be stronger in the moment. And when you understand how to be confident around women and how to truly believe in yourself, that not only makes women feel attracted to you and not feel the need to have to test you, but it also makes other men respect you and look up to you, which is better for your career, it's better for your friendships, and it just feels better as a man when you're not the sort of man that other men are looking at as emotionally weak, sensitive, wimpy, fragile, and instead they look up to you and respect you as being an emotionally strong man, right? They give you that respect. So a mistake that a lot of guys make that kills their confidence with women is needing validation from women in order to feel confident, right? So needing to see obvious signs of interest from her in order to feel worthy. Needing to get a compliment in order to feel good about himself, or needing to get reassurance of how he's talking to her, or his behavior, or his choices in life in order to feel like he's good enough now, right? He needs to get that from a woman. Yet the reality is that if a woman senses that a man is insecure, isn't emotionally strong, isn't emotionally independent, she'll instinctively start to test him, and she may say something a little bit playfully teasing towards him, or say something that he sees as insulting, or that he gets really sensitive about, because he really needs that positive reassurance from women. And anything that's not positive reassurance, he takes that as an insult of like, why would she say that about me? And he may get a bit defensive and sensitive about it. And the woman then has identified that, okay, this man isn't emotionally strong, right? He needs reassurance and validation from a woman in order to feel good enough. And if he doesn't get that, he starts to fall apart. And the third way that a man will kill his confidence with women is thinking that he's not good enough yet. So a lot of guys these days are going through life thinking that when they get the body that they want, then they'll be confident. Or when they get the car, or the apartment, or the house, or the pay raise at work, then they'll be able to feel confident. Then they'll be able to feel good enough. Meanwhile, though, other guys just get on with being with women now and continue working on trying to make a better life for themselves, but most of them won't actually become successful. Most men don't become very rich. Most men just live a very ordinary life, even though they try hard. They try to make a better life for themselves, and the women just go along with it, right? She's in love with him. They're trying to make a better life for themselves. They're both working hard. They have some dreams for the future. They're in love with each other. They stay together and they live the best life that they can, but most will never become very successful. But that doesn't mean that they can't be happy with each other. They can't be in love. They can't enjoy their life together. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a problem when it comes to dating apps, for example, but what a lot of guys don't understand is that the majority of women don't use dating apps. When you actually look into the numbers, most people don't actually use dating apps, and when you look into the numbers further, you find that the majority of users on dating apps are actually men. So, on dating apps, women do have very high standards. That's true. And they judge men based on their looks, on their lifestyle, and if it appears that they are successful and so forth. That does happen. But it's important to understand that the absolute majority of women aren't using dating apps. And even though a woman may logically want a guy who is rich and successful and so forth, the chances of her meeting that guy are very slim. And throughout human history and to this day, couples have remained together for life, even though around the woman, there have been other men who are very successful, right? She stayed with her man. They have stayed together because they're in love. They're attracted to each other. They're working on building a better life together. And in many cases, something that a lot of guys don't understand is that many women don't actually feel that they could hold down a man who is very rich and successful. They don't feel like that guy would be faithful to them, or that they could live up to his expectations. So many women are very happy and comfortable being in a relationship with a man who isn't a huge success. And they may both be trying to work towards achieving goals together as a couple, but that doesn't mean in order for a man to get a woman, he has to have achieved so many things in life. Like, for example, over the years, many guys have commented on my channel saying that they are in their 30s or 40s and they are still a virgin, or they've only had one girlfriend, and they have a mindset where they think they need to achieve a lot first in order to be worthy. And some guys have paid off an apartment and they've got an investment property now, they've built their body up, they've got a great car, and they still don't have a girlfriend. They still struggle to feel confident around women that they find attractive. And those guys are essentially thinking that they're not good enough yet. And based on that mindset, they often continue on for another 5 years or 10 years thinking that they're not good enough yet, thinking that they need to do more in their life, they need to achieve more in their career, they need to pay off this, they need to have that, and then women will see them as a high-value man. Meanwhile, guys who are just normal guys are getting on with enjoying their life with women. And by the way, if you'd like to get an exclusive lesson on confidence where I teach the most amazing confident mindset I've ever created that has completely changed the lives of the members of my private community, then I recommend that you head over to masterattraction.com. In addition to teaching you how to be 100% confident around women that you find attractive, I also teach you all of the other traits that make women feel attracted to you instantly and continually. So as long as you know how to display some traits that make women feel attracted, then you're going to be attractive to women. You have to understand that. Most women are way easier to attract and pick up than they make themselves out to be. All you've got to be able to do is display some attractive traits and shoot your shot, and you'll get a result with many of the women that you meet. And here's just some of what the members of the Master Attraction community have been saying. One of the members went out to meet women with another member of the MAC. That's the Master Attraction community that you get access to when you're learning from the lessons. And he picked up a cute blonde, and it was the first time that he ever picked up a woman at a bar. And he couldn't believe how smooth and easy it was. Other members have been going out and meeting women together and getting amazing results. Another member went out and got multiple phone numbers and kisses in one night. Another member who was really struggling with his confidence learned from the first 2 lessons that you will get access to right away if you sign up. And he used those techniques to hook up with his yoga instructor, and he couldn't believe how easy it was. I could share so many other success stories about the confidence that the members are experiencing and the results that they're getting, but instead I'll give you another insight about confidence, and that is that you shouldn't go through your life thinking that confidence is something that you either have or don't have. If you go through your life looking at other guys who are more confident than you and just think that, oh, you can't be confident like they are because they just have that type of confidence, then you're killing your own confidence. You're thinking that you're not able to be confident like they are. You're a guy who has to remain a bit insecure or nervous or feel anxious around women and so forth. You don't have to be like that. You can be a man who is truly confident around women. You can really feel that way about yourself, because confidence, if you look it up in the dictionary, is about belief in yourself and your abilities. And if you believe in your ability to make women feel attracted to you, and you get evidence of that by interacting with women and making them feel attracted to you, then you see that you really do have the ability to make women feel attracted, and then you really do feel confident. Just like these guys who are naturally confident around women, they really do believe and they really do know that they are able to make women feel attracted. So they feel confident in themselves, they feel worthy. But if you go through your life thinking that you just can't have that type of confidence, it's something that you have to be born with, you can't actually build confidence, you can't build belief in yourself and your abilities, the dictionary is wrong. Confidence is just something that you're born with. No. Confidence is something that you create. It's something that you're in control of. And because you have that control, it's also something that you can kill if you think in an insecure way.